going on, everybody? So, as always, just waiting. If you're catching this live, we'll wait for everybody to show up. And if you're catching this at a later date, yeah, just give me a few seconds, and then wait for everybody else to show up, and then we'll get started. I've got something on my mind, so I wanna address it. It's all positive. It's all good. What's going on, everybody? Just getting set up. Oh my God, 24 watching already. Jesus. Now I feel pressured. Not really. I got crazy hat hair. I just got done filming, and I think I just mentioned in the last live stream. Gentleman by the name of Nick, one of my patrons of the channel. He sent a whole bunch of pedals, and I've been trying to knock one out every single day. And I took a break because I was getting burnt out with this. But yeah, I wanted to stop in. I wanted to talk to you guys, and something's on my mind, as the title says, and I want to address it. And I think I kind of figured it out, if you will, and then just how to go forward. And I'm not trying to change the whole community, but maybe if we could just change our little circle of the community, that'd be sick, man. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna hop in the chat, see how everybody's doing. Oh my goodness, everybody. Justice, hey Justice, everybody. Justice Gash had your birthday today. Happy birthday, brother. Yeah, everything's good. No worries. Everything's positive. Everything's all good. Hey Ray, what's going on? How are you? Great to see you. Michael D, Nathan, Luke. Oh my goodness. Where's the tea? Man, okay, so I guess you guys like drama. There's not really a lot of drama here. I'm just something's on my mind. So, all right, man, we got 43 people watching, a lot faster than I thought, in terms of how many people were going to show up and how quickly. So let's get started, all right? So, I've been doing this for a while, and you see patterns of people hating on you and people hating on others. It's just nature of the beast, and I think anybody that puts themselves out there, such as myself, experiences this. And this goes with anything from if you're a painter, if you're a musician, if you're somebody who plays sports, if you're a football player, basketball player, whatever. If you're somebody that's let's say a politician, somebody that's in quote unquote power. People take shots at you. And we know this, it's just nature of the beast. There's a lot of people out there in the world that are like that. And, I think what's funny is, I think when you do things that are art-based and creative-based, you receive a lot of hate. A lot more hate, in my opinion. For example, LeBron James. I'm not a huge basketball player, or a basketball fan, excuse me, but, LeBron James gets a ton of hate. But on face value, you can only hate on him just because you don't like him. I could hate on LeBron James all I want, but I can't guard him. I can't dunk on him. I will get dunked on. You know what I mean? I can't shoot threes like he can. It's very, very cut and dry, and the hating stops at a certain point where you can't compete with LeBron James. So what can you really say? You know what I mean? Unless you're in the NBA. So it's people hate on athletes, for example, again, but can you hit a 95-mile-an-hour slider? You know what I mean? No, probably not. You know what I mean? Can you hit a 430-foot home run? No, probably not. So, again, the hating stops at a very, very short period of the hate, if that makes any sense. It doesn't get any further than that. People just hate on people because, they're, not on their favorite team or, whatever. But when it comes to, creating things like art, whether it's music, painting, drawing, whatever, man. It's people experience hate at such a different level, exponentially bigger and longer and larger on a larger scale. And, we all know that hate is a derivative of either somebody not liking themselves or somebody jealous. We know this, you know what I mean? This, I'm not, breaking any ground, no groundbreaking news here. We all know this, right? it all comes from jealousy or some sort of hatred, either towards the person they're hating on or themselves. Okay, we know that. But why? You know what I mean? Why? Why do people hate so much more in, the guitar community, for example? And I think it's the sole reason of because anybody can do this. Literally anybody can play guitar and become famous. And skill isn't as much of a factor as some of the other things in the world. Again, going back to sports. If you can't dunk a basketball and you can't shoot threes like it's your job, you're probably never going to make it in the NBA. And if you're not, like, generally speaking, 6'4", you know what I mean? Like, on average, it's like, it's so objective when it comes to, like, sports, for example. I'm a big sports guy. That's why I'm using these analogies. But, like, with music, with guitar, whether you're Jason Richardson or Kurt Cobain and anywhere in between, you can become famous and you can make it as a rock star. And I think that's where the hatred comes from. I really think it's because of that reason alone. Anybody, no matter how skilled you are, has a chance to make it. And I think that's what drives the hate so much more. I see somebody saying it's all about ego. I disagree. I don't think it's about ego, because everybody in the world has an ego. Like, again, just going back to sports. You could have an ego and be a baseball player, but if you can't hit for power, you're not gonna make it in the MLB. You're just not going to. But if you play power chords versus if you shred, you could make it as a musician in the rock world, or you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your skill level. It's all about how you express yourself and how you reach an audience. And so the hatred towards other people comes from either they're too scared to put themselves out there, they're too lazy to put themselves out there, or they just hate an individual because they're doing what they love or they're putting themselves out there. I've seen it from everybody, whether it's, I use all the YouTube people, for example. I've seen Ola get hate. I've seen Rob Chapman get a ton of hate. What I consider one of my best friends in this hobby, Fluff from Riffs, Beers, and Gears, I mean, he gets a lot of hate all the time. And all those people that I just named are different levels of physical skill. I mean, I think, like, Rabia's probably, like, they all have their niches. Like, Rabia's really good at riffing and leads. Chapman's a good, like, 80s guy and theory guy. Fluff's really good at writing sick riffs. So, like, they all have their niche thing. But they're all really good at what they're good at. And they're not, they're not as good as Jason Richardson or Tosin Abasi or, like the elites or the Yngwies. They're all really good at their own individual art and their own individual craft, even if they may not be as objectively as good as everybody else or somebody hypothetically speaking. Somebody said Stevie T. I don't want to talk about that gentleman. That's a whole different thing. But anyway, just getting back on track, it's like people that put themselves out there receive so much hate because other people are, I guess, too afraid, or they're too jealous at, like, somebody less skilled is doing better than them, you know what I mean? And so I think it's coming from a place of jealousy and the fact that their skill level may be better, but they're not putting themselves out there or something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is, and I think that's really what it boils down to. And I think some people expect to, like, shred, and some people expect to, be incredibly gifted, but, like, not putting themselves out there enough, and then, like, be frustrated and hate on other people that hate on other people that put themselves out there way more and reach more people, but aren't as physically gifted or skilled. You know what I mean? And even, like, I'm not too well versed in, like, art or anything like that, but, like, Pablo Picasso, objectively a terrible painter, a terrible drawer, a terrible artist to create, like, realism, but probably the most famous painter of all time, even though his paintings aren't very, good, I guess you could say. But he's famous, and he's one of the greatest painters of all time, and the same thing is with music. Again, Kurt Cobain. I don't like Nirvana, but you can't help deny that they're like one of the most popular, successful rock bands of all time. You know, they're they will always be more successful than like an Yngwie Malmsteen or a Jason Richardson. Like, no shade at all towards them, but it's like, you know, certain things speak largely to a different audience. And shred is only really for like shredders, you know what I mean? And that's cool. I like shredding a lot. I love people that can shred. They're so incredibly talented. But I'm just saying, you guys know what I'm saying. Nirvana, for example, will always be bigger than a shredder because of just like they just speak some sort of language to a mass audience, and people, like that. Another example was, Linkin Park. Now, Chester Bennington's lyrics and vocals have a lot to do with that, but still, the guitars are, simple. But, you know, you don't have to shred to reach a giant audience. You can just come up with a sick riff. You know what I mean? So I think that's where the hate comes from in this community. Is everybody that's really talented, or a lot of people that are really talented, but aren't putting themselves out there, may feel like, why is this person getting more views, or why is this person doing better than me? And then, if I could talk about myself for a brief moment, I get hate. I mean, I'm extremely biased because I see it a lot, but I get so much hate all the time. I had somebody tell me they wish I died in the army. I got blown up in the army by an IED, to which I replied, I use my disability checks to pay for your mom's cab fare. That's my, oh man, I screenshotted that one. That was funny. But, I get hate all the time. And it's weird because I just mind my business and I just stay to myself, and I just do my own thing. I just do what I love, and people get mad at me because of that. And I guess it's because like I came from nothing. I came from, no musician background, no prodigy, no Juilliard school or Berkeley or anything like that. Not yet. I might go for my master's, but um, like I'm not anything other than just the everyday dude that writes riffs and hangs out. You know what I mean? And I get hate to an nth degree about people. Like, people say they want to punch me, they want to kill me. I'm just like, dude, like, go ahead, man. Like, I'm just one dude just hanging out, minding my business, and people hate on me so much. And again, I just think it's because anybody has the ability to make it in the industry, but it's the people that are willing to do whatever it takes and put themselves out there and never give up and never listen to anybody hate on you that like ultimately get somewhere. And I'm not anywhere near where I want to be. I don't know where that is, but I'm certainly on the everyday grind. But I'm just speaking from experience, and I had this thought pop into my head, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But I think that's what it is, man. Again, just when you hate on somebody that's like objectively better, again, like if I was to hate on Jason Richardson, like my hate would just be like, like shredding's so boring, like it's not even like emotional. But like that's all I could literally say. And the same thing is like with, LeBron James or Derek Jeter or just people that are objectively very talented. You can only hate on them so much. But with the arts, I think the hate is much more easier because whether you play power chords or you play major or seventh arpeggios, like sweep picking or whatever, you know what I mean? Like everybody's gonna hate on you for a different reason. So now, I want to take a break on that. That's like my 15 minutes of like what I think that comes from. I see everybody blowing up in the chat, and we have near 100 people watching, which is the most I think I've ever had on a stream. Thank you guys. Thank you. It's great to see you guys. So I'm gonna hop in and see if I can see some comments in here. Alright, I played for 20 years and I've had to sell all my guitars for the kids due to this BS going on. Just now, hopefully I'll get one again someday. Well, I don't know what the BS you're referring to is, but I hope everything's okay in your world. I really do. Not everybody can or want to be on a public platform also. I think in this industry, more often than not, more people do. It's just they're afraid to, I think. Because why else would you hate, you know what I mean? But, who knows? There seems to be hate and drama in every community on YouTube. I'm a fan of some other ones, and I disagree. I mean, I think there is hate and a lot, yeah. But I think there's more in the music side of things and the creative side of things more than other stuff. I really do believe that. Like, yeah, there's certain other channels, I don't want to name them, but they don't get as much hate, and people, generally have a good time and like them. So, I don't know. Ray, you get so much more positive comments than hate, and how do you give so much attention to that? Can't understand. So I don't give attention to the haters. I ignore them. I used to back in the day. I don't give haters any attention. I ignore them all. And this video right here, the stream, is just for something that was on my mind, and as you can see in the parentheses, and how to fix it, how we can go forward, and how to be better. But I don't give any attention to haters. I don't anymore. I don't at all, actually. I only repost and reply to positive stuff, and I ignore all the haters. Yeah, so I hope that clears that up. Let's get this guy a guitar, guys. No, that's okay. Thank you. I don't. You guys don't have to, and nobody has to do that. That's fine. I have a hard time finding hate comments on your channel. Again, that's because I'm extremely, biased, and I see them a lot. And know what's funny is too, honestly, they're not as prominent now as they used to be, and that's the truth. I used to get like the death threats was like 6 to 8 months ago, and then I don't know, it slowly started to go away, which is cool. But again, this isn't just for me to like say like, oh, my life is so terrible. I'm trying to help out everybody, and I'm trying to bring positive vibes in this crazy world that we live in, with everything going on in the world. I'm trying to be positive. So I'm not saying like, oh, I get so much hate. I do, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to just help and trying to speak on this topic. Another problem with the community is the jealousy, is they seem to acquire from seeing other instruments become successful. They seem to always want to be the top dog. Okay, I think other musicians become successful. I find that pure stupidity. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Art is subjective. That's the real issue. Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Love you, man. You're a real deal, and you work super, super hard. Well, thanks, brother. I appreciate, as do you, Justice. I appreciate you, man. If you're still here, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I see you grinding on a daily basis, man, and you pump me up, man. So don't ever think like, you know, I see you, man. I see you working. So hey, anybody that wants to get some cool demos and cool reviews and a good dude on the channel, or excuse me, on the platform, Justice has a great channel. So check him out, guys. He and I have been friends for a while, man. And today's his birthday, right? Today's your birthday, right? You're 30 years old today? I'm catch it up, man. In order to fix a problem, you have to fix the man's heart. Or a woman's heart. You have a good point, Ray. Fame is such a controversial subject that they don't know how easy and how hard it is at the same time. Depends on the person. Only fame to. Yeah, I think too, like, a lot of people don't understand how hard it is. It's very, very hard to do this. Whether you have... I know people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I know people that have, in the tens. And I'm on the closer to the tens than I am the hundreds of thousands. I'm grinding like everybody else. I really am. I'm certainly not a big time guy. I'm just like everybody else. It's just doing it, trying to write cool stuff and create cool stuff and create, at least in my own opinion, I'm trying to create an escape from the world as opposed to just trying to bring the rest of the world here. I'm trying to create an escape and have fun and trying to do something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. So I don't know where I was going with that. I just got a little sidetracked. But yeah, that's my opinions on whatever I was just saying. What's up with Stevie T? Just curious. Anyways, love the content, man. Anyway, gotta take the hate comments and make them into a blanket. Let the hate keep you warm. There's no. That's funny, Nick. Nick, I shot the paranormal, man. I just shot that video today. And nothing's wrong with Stevie T. Just he recently got the KDH did an audio audit on him, and so like I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk badly about anybody, or I don't want to talk about the hot drama subjects of right now because I just don't want to do that, man. Again, there's certain people like if you say their name, unfortunately, it's like ooh drama, like Jared Dines, Rob Chapman, Stevie T. Like unfortunately, those gentlemen get a lot of hate, and I don't ever want to talk about them to invite drama, and I don't ever want to talk about them because I don't know them personally. Um, so there's nothing wrong with Stevie T. I just don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about other people that I don't know, and I know that there's a lot of bad things being said about them, and I don't want to ever be one of those people. That's all. So I'm sorry if it like came off as a certain way. I don't want to ever welcome drama. You know what I mean? I think that's that's weird. It's not cool. It's not cool. So that's all that is. I just nothing wrong with Stevie T. I just don't want to talk about somebody else. That's all. Is YouTube for full time job? If not, what is? I think you mean is YouTube my full time job? If not, what is? Um, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Yes and no. So, I go to school in the fall and the spring at the University of Arts in Center City, Philadelphia, and I get weird when I talk about this stuff. I don't like talking about finances, but I am a disabled vet, and that helps pay the bills. Um, and so I go to school and I do YouTube full time. Both of those, they're like two part time jobs, if you will. Um, so right now in the summertime, since school's not in, yes, this is what I'm doing for a job. This is my summer job. This and Patreon, where I do lessons. So hey, if you guys, since I got you guys here, nice little segue. That was smooth. You like how I did that? If you guys are interested in doing lessons with me, it's through my Patreon page. I got a lot of people in the chat right now that are doing lessons with me currently. So anything from theory to just techniques to just anything you've ever had a problem with the guitar, we can talk and hang out. And it's not like me instructing; it's more or less just a conversation, and for me to help. All right, so I saw Nick. Nick's one of the people taking lessons. You got me sidetracked. So how do we fix this? All right, how do we fix the community? How do we fix the guitar community? How do we how can we help people that are feeling jealous or feeling hate or feeling insecure or feeling, anything other than positive, positivity? Well, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, but I do think I have a solution. And I think it's just becoming self-aware with yourself or self-aware with the community. Um, if you like, for example, something extreme like I've experienced. If you write a death threat to somebody, that's a real person. Not only is it illegal and you could be charged, which I don't ever want to go down that route. It's not worth it, but it can happen. And two, man, some people may not have as thick of skin, and you're telling people that stuff. It's a human being you're telling, horrible things to. And I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt that they're just speaking out of anger and out of impulse, and they really don't mean what they're saying. They're just pissed at whatever's going on in the current situation. So you got to give people the benefit of the doubt, even though it's very hard that people are, hating on you from, the way you look, the way you play, the way you talk, the way you think, the way you just whatever. You got to give people the benefit of the doubt because nobody that's doing well in life or nobody that's happy ever hates. It just doesn't happen. So you got to think about that. I would never hate on anybody, but